Hi, I'm Keith Allen, and I play Murphy on Z Nation, and I listen to One Up Gaming Podcast.
It's the One Up Gaming Podcast, hosted by David, Sean, and Zack.
And we're here, it's One Up Gaming, it's episode 141.
141?
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's quite a lot,
Every time you say the number, it's just like, Jesus Christ. It's just like, wow.
Yeah, and the problem is, I mean, some podcasts, we get about, I think we've had about 700 downloads in a day.
Yeah.
And that's been building up over the last sort of 2-3 years. But now I've decided to change over to a new sort of podcast host. So I think it's like starting all over again.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's what you mean, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a new feed, so people have to find the new feed, which is annoying.
You can do it, guys. I believe in you.
Well, I don't, but you know. Anyway, it's me, David, and we've got Zack here this week.
Hello, everyone. I hope you are well.
Hello, everybody.
Everybody
Hello.
in the house, put your hands up, say yeah!
I am just going to write a name down. That way I don't have to remember it in about 10 minutes' time.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's why you're the boss, David.
Now maybe we should have wrote it down before I started.
Yeah, maybe, but, you know, I didn't come.
So anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Zack, what are you now, 20, 21?
I'm 21.
21.
21.
And you're going to be getting your first tattoo.
Oh my god, we're announcing this on the podcast. Oh, here we go. In less than 2 weeks, I'll be getting my first tattoo. It's all very exciting.
So will it just be like black and white sort of thing, just no colour?
Yeah, it'll just be straight black lines, generally. In a cool, geometric
Do you reckon,
kind of fashion.
Do you reckon we could nick the design and put it up on the site somewhere?
Oh, you can do that if you want. Yeah, why not? Just post pictures of my arm everywhere. This is Zack's arm. Follow Zack's arm. I'm going to start a Twitter account for it. Zack's arm. Every day it's just going to tweet, I have a tattoo. But yeah. I assume, I don't have the design yet, but I assume the lady that's going to do it for me is going to send me the design at some point.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
You'd hope so. I'd be
you wouldn't want to just get
quite
there
terrified if I just turned up and then she had the design there and I was like, it would be awkward if I was like, oh, I don't like it. I'm sure I will because I like most of her stuff.
Now, I can't remember if it was with you or Matt or Stephane or Bob, because I've done that many different podcasts over the last sort of 3-4 weeks. I can't remember who the hell I was talking to. But we were talking about tattoos.
Right.
And I said I really, really wanted to get a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles purple band.
Oh yeah,
across.
we had that conversation.
I thought that'd look so cool.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure it would. I mean, if I was you, I would just stick to getting a piece of cloth and just putting it around your head.
Tying it around.
Yeah.
To be fair, I got a loot crate.
Loot crate?
I don't know where it's somewhere around. And in there it did have I think it had a Raphael summit and a Shredder, like, helmet mask thing.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
And it was so poor quality with everything that was within it. I cancelled the subscription right away.
Oh dear.
It was not worth 20 quid, let alone 20p. The stuff that was in it were like from the pound shop.
It's the problem with these loot crates, isn't it? Unless you're spending big money.
Well, it was 20 quid a month. You know,
they got to fill it, haven't they? I mean, because that 20 quid, obviously they're going to spend less than that on the box.
Yeah, but in America, it's only $20, so where have we're paying.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So we're paying like £6 more than what they are.
That's for international delivery, or?
Well, surely enough they'd have a depot in the UK.
Yeah, they must do. Yeah. I don't know. Seems weird.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, so tattoos we've talked about. If anyone listens to this, if anyone can design a really cool Ridge Racer tattoo design, I really want a tattoo of Ridge Racer. I love Ridge Racer so much. I don't know whether to go with like the Ridge Racer sort of design where it's like a double R.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or do like the original where it's just Ridge Racer written out with some Japanese font in the background.
Oh, good old days.
You know, but...
I might get a Dark Souls tattoo. I really like Dark Souls. Or Bloodborne. One of those two. I'm going to be one of those guys. Maybe one day. I'm going to get Praise the Sun written across my face.
Well, why don't you take racism to the next level and get like a whole
Racism?
blacked out face? Yeah, just get a whole blacked out.
Why would I want to take racism to the next level?
Then you can see you got a dark soul.
Oh my god.
I don't know. That's what I was thinking when you said dark soul. There's get a whole blacked out face.
Okay, fair enough. I see kind of the train of thought, but I meant the video game. I was trying to play it back into the video games thing.
Why would you do that? It's not as if we do anything with video games on here.
What are video games?
I know. So, Zack, we've blabbled on for 6 minutes. I think it's time. What have you been playing this week?
Right. I haven't been on the podcast for a while. However, I've been playing the same game since. Right, David, do you remember when we talked about Football Manager?
Yes.
And I said that playing the full whacked out version of Football Manager is rubbish and you should always play the streamlined version?
Yes.
Yes? I'm now addicted to the full whacked out version and I can't stop playing it. It's ruining my life. And the worst thing is I've only managed to get about like 2 seasons in for like a month's worth of play. I'm just addicted. I can't stop playing it. It's really bad. I just don't know. It's just I'm playing as Arsenal because I'm an Arsenal fan. But I'm not very good at Football Manager, I have to say, because I have this problem with Football Manager where I keep investing in youth. But so then I basically just kit out my entire team with youth players that are going to be really good in like 5 years. But when they are now, they're rubbish. So I've got my entire teams like that, so then I always lose most of the time. Not most of the time. I win.
So when you're playing like the full-featured, full-fat version, can you actually do the quick matches, or do you have to actually sit and watch the whole thing?
What's a quick match?
You know, wait, it's just like an instant result.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that. No. In the full version, you have to sit there and go through the entire thing. You don't have to.
You can speed it up.
Speed it up, yeah. You don't have to sit there for 90 minutes going through the game, but speed it up. An average game will last about 10-15 minutes, probably.
Yeah, I was going to say about 6 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, they do take a while, especially if a lot's happening as well. They're constantly slowing down. But yeah, and it's just taking over my life. And it's as well like doing the contracts. I still hate. I hate doing the contracts so much. It's the most boring thing. Like you'd be arguing over like, oh, I want this amount of money, and then I want like £1,800 for an unused substitute fee. And it's like, oh my god, I'm going to move that down a bit, and then you start arguing over the tiniest margins, and then the player will be like, no, the agent will be like, no, I'm rejecting all talks now, and you're like, but you're one of my best players, and you have to come back. I had a massive argument with Mesut Ozil, and because he wanted to leave to go to Barcelona, because he was worried he was never going to win the Champions League with Arsenal. So we had a massive bust up, and I blocked the transfer. Especially
with you as the manager.
Especially with me as manager.
With your team of 17-year-olds.
Yeah, he must be saying that. Like, where are all the quality players? And trying to sell players is a nightmare. I can't, like, instantly when I started, I was like, I need to get rid of Flamini and Rosicki. They're the two players I need to get rid of immediately because they're just eating into the wage budget. And I couldn't get. I had to wait until Rosicki retired, and I had to wait a season and a half to get Flamini off the books. Oh my god, it took me ages to get rid of him. But it's just that constant. Like, if you just keep playing because if you win a game, you're on a run. Therefore, if you keep the run going, you're a full-flown confidence. But if you lose a game, you don't want to stop playing it when you've lost a game. You want to stop. You don't want to leave on a bum note. You want to keep going. So then you get caught in this cycle where I'm constantly going, one more game, just one more game. And then I'm just addicted. It's really bad. However, I think I might be able to bin it now because I'm going to try and get back into Dying Light because they've released the new expansion pack called The Following, I think it's called. It's its own standalone game that was where the DLC kind of expanded itself into a fully fledged downloadable game. But I have the season pass from when you remember when it got delayed. The boxed version got delayed only. I managed to get on Amazon. They were doing a deal where if you bought the main game, they'd give you the season pass for free. So I had the season pass, and obviously the DLC is included in that. So I'm going to try and jump back in on that and get myself away from Football Manager because I need to get away from it. The worst thing about Football Manager is it's good fun and everything, but when I'm playing a video game, I don't really have that many stories to tell when I'm playing Football Manager. Apart from that time I beat Liverpool 6-0. And that's about it. Whereas if you're playing something like a fantasy adventure game, you could be like, I fought a dragon and then crazy things happened, there was explosions on the screen, it's so cool and I saved the world. But on Football Manager you're just like, I avoided relegation. Thanks very much. So.
I mean, when I sort of play Football Manager at work, so I'll do like an hour and a half a day on Football Manager. Yeah. And under your recommendation about 6 months ago, you said do the classic. Is it classic mode or whatever it's called?
Yeah, classic or streamlined version or something. Yeah.
And I'm playing that version, and basically I just do auto select, and then I sometimes change a couple of the plays around, and then I just do instant result.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it just like starts loading, and it instantly pops up with like say you won 2-1 or something. And I've been doing that, and I've had 400 games in charge of Newcastle. And I think I've won the league title 4 times, and I've won 17 trophies.
Nice. With Newcastle, oh my god.
And about 4 years into this sort of like the game, my career, Mike Ashley sold the club to a new consortium, sort of like another sort of like chairman came in.
Yeah.
And it come on saying rumours saying that my job was under threat because he wanted to bring some German manager in. And they sort of said that although my record's been absolutely amazing, we are thinking of bringing another manager in. We'll give you a couple of games to see how it goes. And luckily, I won every single game. And they sort of said, right, we're going to give you control back into the transfer market because they're restricted. I couldn't buy no one. They took all I couldn't buy or sell. And so luckily, I've now got that. And I've managed to get England up to 4th in the world rankings. So that's pretty cool. But I mean, sometimes it's weird. I mean, sometimes if it's like a big game, I'll sort of save just before and then restart it. So I think I want to win that. But sometimes I forget and I think, oh shit, that was the Champions League final playing Man United. But luckily when I did that, I won. I think it's like 5-0 or 6-0 or something. You know, so. But my team, I mean, I've hardly got any money left whatsoever Because I do something stupid. I go for players that are under 23 and they're valued at over 15 million. But because they're that young, you have to put a stupid bid in of about 50 million to be able to...
Yeah, to even have a chance of signing him.
So I bought, I think his name's Ivan, like a 19-year-old defender, and I had to pay like 38 million for him. And then I bought a 17-year-old midfielder from Aston Villa, and I had to pay 68 million for him. But he's 21 now, and he's like one of England's best players.
There you go, yeah. Investment.
But it's just, it's such a fun game.
It is really fun, yeah, it is.
But yeah, I do that at work, because otherwise I'd go crazy and start killing people. So have you been playing anything else?
That's pretty much all I've played. Yeah, that's it. That's all I played. Over to you.
Right, so I'll just sort of write a note of Football Manager. So basically, I've had a quick couple of minutes go at ET Armories.
What is ET Armories?
Like I say, I had a couple of quick 2-minute play of it.
Okay.
I was playing it when you messaged me to sort of say you were ready for the podcast.
Oh, okay.
So I've got a video recorded somewhere of like 4 minutes of me playing it. It's a first-person shooter. I don't know if it's early access or if it's they just sent over the actual unfinished game, or if it's soon to come. I don't know. I haven't looked into it whatsoever. Just downloaded it and I had a quick go. It seems a game.
It's a game. You can play.
Yeah.
It is interactive.
I couldn't find the run button.
Couldn't find the run button.
And I couldn't work out where I was going. So yeah, fun. But I mean, I guess the biggest game that I've played this week is the Division beta.
Oh yeah, I played that. I played the closed one. Like, when was it? It was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
There's another one now, isn't there?
Yeah. I had a quick go on it, and it was better than I thought. I mean, did you manage to play the Homefront, the Revolution sort of beta?
No. I did play at EGX.
I hated that game. It just didn't feel any good. But, yeah, so the Division, it feels a lot better than I thought it was going to feel. But I don't think it's a game that I would play.
No, I'm not. I wasn't particularly impressed with it. It's a secret numbers game. It's Destiny. Except
I was actually quite disappointed with the graphics, considering how amazing it looked when they first showed it like 2 years ago.
Downgraded it massively. It doesn't look.
Yeah.
If anyone's listening to this and you haven't seen how it actually looks, you need to lower your standards incredibly, because that first gameplay trailer looks phenomenal, and that must be running on a computer that probably won't be available to the wider public until like 20 years. But they've downgraded it massively, especially the snow effects. They've removed a lot of snow effects. You can still close car doors though, which is quite cool.
But yeah, so as I said, it plays okay, but
it feels weird because my problem with it is that it's supposed to be like a proper serious military shooter, but it takes a whole magazine to kill someone.
Yeah, I was shooting hell out of people and they just like stood there.
It's not like what I thought it was going to play like Watch Dogs. That's what I thought it was going to play like, but it plays more like Destiny. With less jumping. That's basically what they want it to be. And
yeah.
So it's like when it feels it's too realistic for it to be an MMORPG.
It doesn't play like it looks.
I feel like when you're shooting someone, there's not really much going on, but you're standing there shooting this person, expecting them to die, and they don't die, and it feels really boring. Like at least because if in a proper like Call of Duty, you're constantly running between cover and stuff, you'll quickly shoot, see if you can get a headshot or whatever. But in this one, if you get a headshot, it only takes down about a quarter of their health, if that.
Yeah.
And it's annoying.
Yeah.
More than anything else.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree. So I think we'll all have to buy it and play it.
I'm going to cancel my pre-order. That's how I feel about it.
Ooh.
Pre-ordered it about a year and a half ago, and now it's about to come out, and I'm like, no, get rid of it. I'd have hated to see what it looked like if it didn't get delays. Can you imagine?
I mean, the one thing I will say, it seems to have more single-player content than Destiny sort of does.
I think it does, yeah.
Because I was playing it, and it was like, go to this bit, do this, turn this, go this, find these people, and I was quite enjoying it. You know, like, you don't need other people to come with you, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, that's the thing I'd like, you know, because I don't like people, so I don't want to play against other random people. Another game that I played, because it was free on the iPhone, was the Warhammer Deathwatch.
Is that the one where you play as, like, a massive robot?
No. Well, it's basically XCOM.
Oh, okay.
But with, like, Warhammer do, so you just click where you want them to go, then shoot random people and that. It's okay, it uses the Unreal Engine 4, it runs quite smoothly. Sometimes it does take an absolute age to load, though. You sort of just sat there going, come on.
I played a similar one. There was another one, I think it was called, like, Raven Guard or something. Warhammer Raven Guard. Sorry, I hated it. So boring. It was recommended to me by Eddie, and I was like, I'm never listening to Eddie ever again.
No.
I think I've had this rant on the podcast before. I just hate how many strategic games they make of Warhammer. A game that's so violent and gun heavy, and it just feels like there should be more action focused games around it, but everything's strategy. I know it's a strategy game, as it is, but like in video game form, it doesn't have to follow that suit. It can do a completely different medium. And if it isn't exactly like XCOM, they shouldn't make it like XCOM. Because XCOM's just too good.
So, yeah, I mean, it's free, so I'd recommend it.
Yeah, you're not going to lose anything.
I'd recommend it. And the last game that I've played this week was, I got sent, well, they emailed me saying, oh, we hear that you like management games.
Really?
And they sort of sent me like a test code for the iPhone, and I've got a license that expires in 60 days. It was originally called Player Manager 2016.
Right.
And I think they've had a lot of legal problems because Player Manager is a Dino Dini's sort of like game.
Oh yeah.
Back in early 90s. And so on here now, it now says The Soccer Player Manager 2016. So they've added a couple of words to it. And I mean, I understand what they're doing, but a game from 20 years ago just doesn't play very well now.
Yeah.
You know, there's exceptions, like Cannon Fodder, Sensible Soccer, Doom, the Super Mario Brothers, things like that, they still play amazingly well. But other games that looked and played well back then, just 6 months after they came out, are so far.
Games that are always trying to push something, like technologically wise, in terms of graphics or gameplay, usually end up being swept away. They get
picked off.
Yeah, and they get improved.
And get added in.
Super Mario and Doom, they took what they had and perfected something so
Doom
simple.
Was classic.
Yeah, Doom is just so much fun in Doom. And you can play it on your browser. Like, what more could you want?
So, I mean, basically, from what I've played of the Soccer Player Manager 2016, is it looks like exactly the same as the Amiga 500 game converted onto the iPhone.
Okay.
And it's like a player manager, so you put yourself into the team. And from what I can gather, it's just all random player names. It's not real players.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So you don't know who you've got and who you don't have. It's quite hard to work out the stats of the players because, of course, 20 years ago, they weren't really that in-depth, with all the stats.
Yeah.
And it's very fiddly to work things out. But I'll give it a few more games, a few more goes, and see if I can get into it. But I just think some of these games... I mean, I don't mind if it's the idea, but they have to add new elements into it to make it change it up.
Yeah, just to re-release something isn't good.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it if it was the original developer re-releasing it on iPhone as a free-to-play game. It's like, yeah, fair enough, just release it for free. But, I mean, I don't know if you've heard a lot about, like, all these, like... I mean, I got involved in a Twitter war with the people making this game and the original creator.
Right.
Basically, they were saying on their website that they've rewrote everything from scratch. It doesn't include anything from the original game.
Right.
And he was basically saying, no, you're lying. I've looked at the source code and it's just an exact copy of what I've already done.
Right.
And they're saying, no, you're wrong, and this, that, the other, and I got involved just 'cause I thought it'd be quite funny.
As you do, yeah. As you do.
Oh, I love winding people up. It's a gift. It's a gift. And
especially on Twitter.
Oh, it's so good. So, yeah, I'll give it a few more goes, but I'm not optimistic. I mean,
that's fair.
Again, a lot of these things... I mean, I don't know if you've heard about, like, the Super Mario 64 that was redone in Unity, but in full HD graphics and that.
Yeah.
And I don't mind it when that guy was doing it, because he basically said he just wanted something to do, to get a bit of attention, to get a bit of money in.
Yeah.
So then he could actually use those elements.
Yeah, to further his own projects, yeah.
Yeah, to actually do a full 3D game that's not Mario.
Yeah.
But it'll still have the same sort of movement and physics, but to actually release it and try to sell it on the name of a game that they don't own, I just don't think that's right.
Nah, that's copyright. Flat out copyright.
We should do
There's
that.
a reason why you can't do that.
We're the official IGN podcast.
The official IGN podcast, imagine. Hello, we are the official IGN podcast. We're new.
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, there you go. Let's fucking ruin it. We need to find a website that doesn't do a podcast and then pretend to be their podcast. We're the new podcast team.
Do you know there was an old website that got bought and got shut down called 1UP?
No.
Oh, there was a big one in America called 1UP.
Oh, okay.
And basically, they bought the actual domain of someone, 1up.com.
Right.
And do you know how much that cost them?
Oh my god. And is it in the hundreds, or is it in the thousands, or is it more?
It's in the thousands.
It's in the thousands?
Yeah.
How much into the thousands?
I'll just tell you.
Just tell me. Just tell me.
They paid $50,000 for it.
£50,000. Oh my god. What you could do with £50,000?
So, yeah. But then, like, the division that owns IGN, I think they bought them and basically just scrapped them.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of the best writers got assimilated into the IGN monster.
Okay, yeah.
And then they just sort of like shut the site down and just laid everyone else off.
Yeah.
So,
right.
But yeah, so as of next week, I'll design a new podcast cover that'll have like IGN, and we'll be the official
the new IGN podcast.
Yeah. So, I want to mention two movies that I've watched over the last couple of days. The first one is probably one of the best movies I've seen in the last 10 years. And that was Spotlight.
Oh, okay, yeah. The one about the church and newspaper stuff.
Yeah, with Mark Ruffalo and Michael Keaton.
Yeah. Batman.
It's so good. So good. I mean, I don't want to say anything about it, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Spoilers.
Mark Ruffalo, he does a great sort of impersonation of Columbo. You know, like doing his like inspecting and clues and sometimes, because when you look at him, he does have a lazy eye, does Matt Ruffalo.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
And you look at him and you think, do you know what? I think he could do a really good Columbo.
If they ever do a remake.
I think that'd be so good.
Ruffalo.
You know, I mean, all they'd have to do really is do not a like a low budget, but like a medium sort of budget movie, and they could do like one every 2-3 years and just do, you know, like it could have him his career set for life.
I think we should do a TV series. TV series jokes. I just like how Columbo walks around just like being so unprofessional. It's amazing.
It's so good. I loved Columbo. And the last movie, well, it was called a movie, but it was only half an hour long. And I've wrote a name down. I think it's right.
Yeah.
It's Kung Fury.
Fury.
It was on
it's the best
Netflix.
thing in the world, yeah. I know, it's the best. I love Kung Fury so much. It's just it's just, even the opening is just amazing.
It's bad, but intentionally bad.
Yeah, they've just taken everything about 80s movies and just smashed it together to form this just car crash of a movie, which is, even like the lead character speaks with a gravity put on voice. It's just like, I love them. Have you seen the music video to there's like the theme song of the album of the film is called True Survivor, and it's sung by David Hasselhoff, and it takes elements from the movie and it just like CGI's David Hasselhoff into it, and it's in the opening of the music video, you see at the beginning of the film where the policeman drives up to those guys and he goes, "Hey, have you got a license for those guns?" And he puts his skateboard down, slams the car into the sky.
Yeah.
In the music video for this, David Hasselhoff's in the car, and as the car gets flung into the sky, he jumps out of the car and starts running on it and shooting all the guys, kills them all. Then when he lands doing the splits, and then he goes, "Permit revoked," and then the music starts, and it's just like, what? It's just amazing. Yeah, best film ever made. Kung Fury.
And I've got to say, the bit in it where he sort of says, "You're my best partner," and then all of a sudden he gets sliced in half.
And like the blood's like coming up in bits. Oh my life, yeah. It's disgusting.
I love his voiceover where it's like, "I don't know how, but I could tell he wasn't alive."
Yeah. It's just
and then
a ridiculous movie. It's amazing.
His new partner, Triceratops, or whatever the hell his name was.
Triceratops. Yeah, if you have Netflix and you haven't seen Kung Fury, you have to watch Kung Fury. You just have to.
I think it was it a Kickstarter or something?
Yeah, it was a Kickstarter.
I'm sure I heard about it and I watched it.
Yeah, it was a Kickstarter to make like the ultimate 80s movie. It's even got an amazing art style where everything's like comic bookified. It's just brilliant.
I so wish it could have been like a full hour and a half.
Yeah, that would have been funny. I like how they tackle a lot of like problems of filming a major movie quite well as well. Because in the opening fight scene, when he's fighting the game machine that comes alive, like when instead of like doing a full-fledged fight scene, they just play music over it, and then they just show spots of them fighting in different areas, and they kind of get around the whole making a fighting scene and just sort of, but they do it in a really cool way.
It does the tracking sort of like it like loses focus, and when it comes back into focus,
it's
a different scene.
Screen,
yeah.
And then when it comes back, they're fighting on top of a crane, and it's just like they made it quite well. To be fair, they've like looked at everything and they've just gone, right, how are we going to get around this? Right, let's do it this way. So it's just
you
fun.
can tell that they enjoyed using a couple of the effects, because like right at the beginning, the guy's head explodes, and then all the way through the movie, there's quite a lot of it's probably the same guy, just different angle.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we recommend Kung Fury.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. So we're gonna have a quick break, and we'll have an interview. Are you playing with a pen? I have a light
R2-D2 pen that shines Princess Leia on things. And that's what I've been doing throughout this podcast, just randomly shining it. That's what happened. Did you see my screen changed like that?
Yes.
Yeah. Wait, can I do it with my hand? Can you see that? Princess Leia.
Does she move, or is it just...
No, it's just static. She doesn't move.
That's rubbish.
Help me, Obi-Wan. You're my only hope. That's my impression of her.
Yeah. So, we're going to have a nice long interview with a brand new author. It's her first book. It's going to be a trilogy. So this is with A.J. King. And I guess we'll be back after this, about 40 minutes. So... back after this interview.
Chaostrophic.com, the most viral videos, images, and news from all over the internet. We find it so you don't have to. Get the latest and greatest chaos from around the world. We give you more of what you want, boobs, and less of what you don't. Politics. But don't think it's all about us. We're all user-driven. Come on in and join the fun and see content from all around the world from people just like yourself. Chaostrophic.com. We find it so you don't have to.
Up next on the One Up Gaming Podcast is 10 minutes of nothing. Will it be the team talking about nothing or a guest interview? Stick around and find out now. It's 10 minutes of nothing. Yeah, 10 minutes of nothing.
And we're back with another chat on the One Up Gaming Podcast. This time, it's an author. So first of all, it's just me, David, as always. None of the team members could be bothered to get up. But first of all, if you just want to introduce yourself and just say what you do, please.
Right, I'm A.J. King, and I've just written my first novel, which is from the Power Vested in Me trilogy, and the first part is called The Gatherers.
Yeah, and I mean... basically, I've looked at the cover of the book, and it looks like there's magic and it's got Roman numerals on it, I think.
Yeah, there's time travel and magic and secret powers.
So, I mean, I guess it's the sort of, I don't know what you call it, but on the website, it basically says the story of 5 teenagers, their powers, their quests, and their lives. I mean, whenever I think of a story of 5, I think of the old novels, the Famous 5. Back when I was a kid, they were the books when I sort of read. You know, so...
Yes. Yeah, the characters are a lot different to that. They are, they're all totally unknown to each other. They get the powers given to them when they're babies, newborn babies in the maternity ward of a hospital, when a guy just appears randomly, casts out stars from his hands, the stars fall upon them, and they get powers then. And we don't see him again. That's right at the start of the story. We don't see him again for 13 years when he invites them all round, says they've won a competition, introduces himself and tells them he's the one that's given them the powers. So, and they're all from all different walks of life, so they're not very famous 5e, but they sort of come together as a group.
Yeah, and I think the Famous 5, it had 4 and a dog, so I guess that would have been a bit different. So, the novel itself...
No ginger beer either in this.
So, like, this novel that you've got here, I can see that it says now available on Amazon. So I guess it's...
Yes.
Is it available as a paperback and on the Kindle?
Yes, that's right.
So how difficult is it to actually get published nowadays?
Well, I've gone through Creator Space and down the self-publishing route, so I sort of decided it was easier and quicker to do that way.
I mean, about 5 years ago, I got about 12 chapters into writing my own book, and I looked into doing the self-publishing, where I guess it's you email them the files, and they print to the number of how many you want, and then you pay in bulk, say like 10, 20, 50 copies. Is it still similar to that now, or is it a bit different?
No, it's a bit different now, because basically you format the book and everything for them. You get the cover design done and all the illustrations inside, send it to them, and then they will just print off as orders come in. They print these, so you can order them via Amazon, and then they print them off as the orders come in. So it is much easier now than you haven't got to order bulk by 30, 40 or whatever anymore, so it does make things much easier and much cheaper, really. So
I guess doing it that way, does the company take a small percentage of each book sold?
Yes.
But
Yes.
I guess it works out easier doing it that way than you just give them the book and then they do everything else.
Yes.
So yeah. So you say this is like the first book of a trilogy.
Yes.
Have you already wrote the other books, or are they still to be written?
I'm in the process of writing book 2, and I'm researching book 3. So, and I'm marketing book 1. So I know what happens in the other 2 books, but at the moment, just writing book 2.
So, would you sort of say this is for the teen sort of market, or?
Well, I aimed it because the 5 are teenagers. In the first book they are 13 and 14, nearly 15 at the end of it, and they grow older obviously through the other books, taking them up to about 18. So I sort of thought, yeah, it'd be for the teen market. But what I found is a lot of adults have been reading it and they've been really enjoying it. So maybe it's for those who are young at heart as well.
Yeah, I mean, so you've got all your the book cover done and all your illustrations. Was it with another company you went with, or to do all that?
No, I found there was a chap in work who had designed. He'd done the illustrations for a game, and I asked him would he do the book cover for me, and we just basically communicated with descriptions via emails. And then when he actually sent me the cover and all the pictures of the kids just from my descriptions, and they were exactly as I imagined them, it was wonderful.
So was that like mates rates that he did that at?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, because we're in the process of getting a music CD ready for release, and we're looking for someone to design the album cover. And it's quite expensive when you try to get people to do stuff for you. But yeah, I will say that the book cover itself, it does what you want. It jumps off the page. It jumps out to... It really does make you curious about what is the book.
Right. Yeah, I was really, really pleased with the cover, yeah.
And so you say it's available on Amazon and there's a Kindle as well. I mean, what sort of prices are we looking at for this?
It's about £2, I think, for the Kindle, and it's £7, between £7 and £8 for the paperback.
Right. Because I mean, there is a synopsis on your website, which is thepowerinvestedinme.com. Oh no, is it that? I can't even read.
Yeah, the power vested in me. Yes, thepowerinvestedinme.com. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was my other problem when I was trying to write stuff. I think I'm a little bit. Well, I say a little bit, but I think I'm dyslexic. So as I'm writing stuff, I go to read it back, but I've missed whole sentences out that I thought I've already written, but I hadn't, and it just didn't make any sense. So I had to proper go through bit by bit as I was writing, which it took absolutely ages to do. And I think on Kindle you can get is it the first chapter as a preview or something?
Yeah, I think it's the introduction. Yes, you can see that as a preview on the web on my website. What I find is a lot of people say at the end of it, who is Starkey, who is the guy who gives them the powers. So what I've said is on the website, if people email me and ask me questions or make comments regarding the book and I put them on the website, they'll get a free Who is Starkey t-shirt. So that's something that's on the website.
That's not bad. I know for a fact how much t-shirts cost. Yeah, they're not cheap to make. So basically, you just want people to go on the website and then they can...
the first 10 comments it is. Yeah,
that's not bad. So people get out there, get onto the website, and leave some comments on, and you might get a free t-shirt. So, do you have a time scale when you're thinking of releasing the other books in the series, or...?
I'm hoping to see if I can, by the end of the year, get book 2 finished, and then probably then maybe sometime at the end of next year for book 3, but I'm hoping the end of this year, possibly beginning of next. See how time sales go.
Because I think that's the problem that the author of the Fire and Ice series has had. You know, all his books have been caught up by the TV series, and now people are panicking that he can't write fast enough to get the next sort of book done. So do you have any ambitions to try to get this book series into a TV series or movie series?
I think somebody said that on one of the reviews on Amazon, that it would be a good either film or TV series, but just see what happens, isn't it? See what how it...
So I think open for offers.
Yeah, because I used to be a photographer. I think visually, so I can, when I read it, I can always visualize it as a film. So there we are.
And if you think visually, have you ever thought about who might be the stars in this movie?
I think Roddy McDowell could do Starkey very well, although he could have in his younger day anyway, perhaps.
Right. So you've got a contact on your sort of website page, and
yes.
So on there, people can send you sort of messages or emails, things like that.
Yes.
Are you looking for anything in particular, or just comments and questions, things like that?
Yes, yeah, but whatever. There'd be comments on the website, whatever people think. I've done a little video that I'm hoping to put on the website. It's only a few seconds long, sort of an intro for the book. So hopefully get that done this weekend.
So on the actual website again, it says about the author, and it doesn't really say much about yourself. I mean,
no, I was trying to be mysterious, but apparently people don't like you to be mysterious. They like you to go on and say things, so I'll probably stick something on about me. So
I think that's the thing. It's seems like with text messages, you can't get sarcasm in a text message, so you know, it's one of those things where if you're doing a page about something, I think people expect it to actually feature what they expect it to be. You know, people don't like to be disappointed. But so the website itself, I mean, did you do that yourself, or did you actually hire another people to make the site for you?
No, I did it. My daughter did a lot of it, to be honest. But yeah, I sort of designed it. I wanted it to be with the riddles on there, because there's riddles in the book. When they go on the quests, they have to solve riddles to get through the quests. So I stuck a page of riddles on, which people seem to like that page.
So I mean, I'll just have a. I do like the way that the riddles sort of like pop in as you sort of like go over them, sort of thing. But the answers are upside down. Right, just noticed that. So, do you have any other books, stories that you have got mulling around, or is it just get this trilogy finished and then see what happens?
Yes, that's it. That's exactly right, yeah.
Right. Because I know that some people, when they're writing, they start writing the story that they're doing, and then they sort of think, oh, I like the idea of that, I'll keep that for something else. I mean, do you have like a little book full of little notes and things, or...?
Yes, I do, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I used to do. And then someone destroyed my PC and it all went away, so... But I don't know about yourself, I'm one of these people that I'll start doing that, and then I'll sort of think, oh, this other thing looks quite interesting, I'll see about doing this. And then as I'm in the middle of doing that, then I think, oh, I've had a great idea for a cartoon series, I'll write the script for that. And then I start doing that, and then I move on to... And then by the end of it, you've got nothing done. You maybe should have just blinkers on and just gone straight into doing something.
That's when I was with book one. I was jumping around to other things, and in the end I had to focus and say, right, get it finished.
So, roughly how many words is the first book?
Oof. I know it's about 300 pages, but I can't remember how many words.
Because my story I was writing, as I said, I got about halfway through the first draft, and I think I did about 25,000 words. I don't know how many pages that would have been, but I thought 25,000 is quite a lot, yeah. Because, I mean, I'm not really a reader because, as I say, I have problems focusing on the words on the page, and the only two books I've read outside of school were the two autobiography books from Chris Moyles. They're the only two books I've read since I left school, which is not very good claim to fame, to be honest, but... Do you read often?
Yes, I do, yeah. I've got a load of books on the Kindle, and I read as much as I can, so... I used to read a lot of autobiographies before, but now I read more novels and some history books. Yeah,
because, I mean, on my shelf behind me, I've got... Is it The Martian? I've got that. I've got the Metro 2033 books. And then I've got a couple of other bits and bobs, but I don't have enough time in the day to do stuff. Because, I mean, like, just as we're talking, I can click on this, and we did a 60-hour live webcast, and I'm putting up the videos on YouTube, and one 10-hour clip is taking, I think it was like 500 and something minutes to upload. Which that just takes up the entire day. And I tell you what, after you stay awake for about 50 hours, you have no idea what the hell you're doing anymore. I mean, I thought I held together quite well, but watching the last hour or so, I'm just walking around in the room muttering to myself, and I can't even remember doing that. But yeah, that's another thing. Don't do that. Yeah.
So did it go well though? Did you enjoy?
I mean, the problem is, I'm from North Yorkshire, and the rest of the team are down in London. But now I live up in Glasgow, so I'm even further away. And it was the first time in 2 years I'd met face to face with the rest of the team. So that was good, to actually sit and talk with them for a couple of days. But, I mean, we thought we had comfy chairs, but if you sit in a chair, not really moving for 30 hours at a time, it is absolute agony. I can't tell you how bad the pain was. But other than that, it wasn't too bad. Apart from, because basically where we were, it was Sega's old headquarters. It's been knocked down now. But they let us go into one of their meeting rooms and stream it live there. And the problem was, they finished at 5, so they locked us in at 5. Then we had the whole weekend alone. So that was good of them to trust us. We could have walked out with all the PCs. But we sort of sat there all on our own. And then I had to tidy up on the Monday morning before I got my plane back. So there was no beds or nothing. We had to just sleep on the floor. And so you couldn't get a good night's sleep. But I guess by the end of it, I just collapsed and died. And I mean, the other problem I have is I actually work night shift. So I finished night shift at 9 o'clock in the morning. No, 7 in the morning. Came home, picked up all my bits and bobs, went back into Glasgow Centre, got to the airport for 9 o'clock, got into London for 12, got to the place, set up, started doing the stream live. 50 hours later, or 55 hours later, ended the stream, had 3 hours sleep, got sort of like packed up and done, left for the plane, got back into Glasgow for 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the Monday, and then I basically slept from 3 o'clock right the way through to the next day, and then I'd work again the next day. But I don't think I proper recovered for at least a good 4 or 5 days. I mean, like, I remember when I was about 10, 15 years ago, I remember being able to stay up late, like, every night, whereas now, it gets to 10 o'clock and it's like, oh, I need to go to bed now. But, so, do you actually have a set routine when you want to come and do a bit of writing, or is it just when it hits you?
I try to, it used to be when it hits me, but I've tried to sort of discipline myself. Sometimes I get up Saturday and Sunday, 4 o'clock in the morning, and just sit there on the computer, and then by about lunchtime I'm absolutely shattered and ready for sleep. But I find the house is quiet then, and I like play a bit of music on YouTube and write as I do that.
Cause, I mean, when I started writing my novel, it was at a time when I got made redundant. So I'm always one of these people that even if I've got nothing to do, I like to get up 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, even though I've got nothing else to do. It just makes me feel as though if I'm in bed, I'm just wasting time. But I'd get up at, say, 8 o'clock in the morning, have some breakfast, and then every day, 9 till 12, I'll just write. And I actually did about 13 and a half chapters or something like that before I got a job. And then after I got the job, it interfered with all my planning. and I just never got back around to doing it. And then when I decided to do it again a couple of years later, I'd forgotten all the characters' names and places and bits and bobs, and I couldn't be bothered to read it. So I thought, well, if I can't be bothered to read it, no one else will be. So I just gave up on it. So, just thinking.
Yeah, I'm doing a book signing in the Swansea Comic Con back in May. So, bit of a shout out to the Swansea Comic Con.
I tell you what, whenever you see the name Comic Con, I always think of either New York, or there's one down in London now. But I guess they'll be springing up a bit all over the place now, because from what I can gather, the name Comic Con can't be copyrighted. So although they're all called Comic Con, they might not be the original people who created that show, which I thought was quite funny. But,
yeah,
and I mean, my local bookshop in Thirsk, all the way up in North Yorkshire, they allow you to, if you're a local, they allow you to go in and do book signings and things like that. So I mean, would you be going to any of your local bookshops or anything like that?
I asked Waterstones. They said they don't allow indie publishers to do that type of thing. We haven't got that many small bookshops in Swansea. I know there's a few down by the sea that maybe I'll approach. So it goes.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing that, really. You think that if you're local to the store, they'd be happy to actually embrace local talent. But I guess it's all corporate now.
Yes.
So, after you've got these books finished and done, will you be trying to do the so-called proper publishing route, or do you think that this is a really good way to do things with self-publishing?
I think I'm quite surprised what a good idea and what a good way of doing it is, because you have so much control over what's actually going out there, what you're actually doing with everything. I think the marketing is the problem. Obviously, if you've got a big publisher behind you, you've got more marketing power there. But as a self-publisher, you've got to get out there and do it yourself. So I think that's the main drawback. But otherwise, I think it's quite with the internet now. I think it's a pretty good way. In e-books, I think is a good way to do it.
So, I mean, you mentioned the marketing sort of things, because I mean, some of the stuff that I've done, like trying to get a cartoon series created and things like that. We got some proper voice artists involved, ready to go. And I mean, some of them wanted, I think it was like $7,000 per episode. And each episode was only like 10 minutes long. And, which I was just like, oh my God, But what really killed that was the animation team that we were talking to. I think they wanted $60,000 to do 60 minutes of animation. And it's like, seriously? Like, how much do you think people actually have? Because I was gobsmacked at how much that was. And they said that Disney spend $60,000 per second on animation. Which, I mean, they might be quite good, but is it worth that kind of money?
Because I know kids used to, when I was a kid, there used to be a program on where kids used to make their own little animated videos, and that was yonks ago when people just had cine cameras. So yeah, how difficult is it to do now with all the technology? I don't know, you probably know much more about that than me.
I would say that it's a lot easier to do now than it was, because back then it'd be all hand-drawn animation and you have to have 24 frames for each second of... Whereas now, with it all being computerized, you can actually have the basic image on screen and you can tweak every single thing at a click of a button, so you're not having to redraw every single thing each time. So I mean, to me, it sounds a lot easier to do now than it did, but I guess it's a specialist field, and with that you have to pay that specialist sort of price, which is annoying, but yeah, so...
I was looking into audiobooks, and it you know, you kind of think, how long does it take to record an audiobook? And you think it would be similar to just reading a book, but apparently it takes weeks to actually record one. So I was quite surprised about that, because you can sit down and read a book in probably a couple of days, and you just think it's like reading it out loud, but no, it takes a fair amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, I know when I work nights, so I'm allowed to have my headphones on and listen to music. And I was thinking, oh, I'll download some audiobooks. And I think the one I was looking at was 12 hours long, was the actual recording. And it was like, Jesus. But then I guess if you think, reading a really thick book, then that will take a fair amount of time. So I can now understand why so much detail gets cut from the books compared to the movies, because you only get 2 hours in a movie. And if the book's like 12 hours just to read, then you're losing 10 hours worth of content, which is a lot. But I mean, the audiobooks, I think they were about £25 to buy as well, so they're a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, did you actually get as far as to see what sort of prices they were quoting, or... Because I am quite curious.
Various different pricing. I think it was there's the option of shared profits, so you just basically get somebody who will do the audiobook and then you and them split the profits. For people when they want to go, you pay in them, it can be anything from about £50 up to about £350. So going on with what you were quoted with the voiceovers, that sounds really cheap now thinking of it.
Yeah, I'm actually quite shocked how reasonable that actually is. Because, as you say, I mean, if it's 300 pages to sit and read, they won't just be sat and just read it through once. They'd have to, it'd have to be perfect. They couldn't stammer or mutter over a certain word. They'd have to go back through and back through and back through just to get the perfect sort of take. But one thing that I will mention, because we contacted the guy, the only book I've ever sort of read, Chris Moyles, we contacted him to voice a character, and his PR agent person basically said it's £7,000 up front before he even talks to you. Which, so you have to give him $7,000 before he'll even discuss what it is that you're doing, and then he has the right to refuse, but you still have to give him $7,000. And then when we were doing the 60-hour webcast live, it was all going to Games Aid, like a charity, everything that we raised. And we contacted him again, and the email was just like, oh yeah, I'll have a chat with Chris, see if he'll come on. But remember, there's the £7,000 upfront fee. It was like, it's for charity. It's like, does it matter? Like, oh, that's nice. So I guess when you get to the so-called stardom status, you can charge whatever you want, and I guess it is a big name to stick on the front of something. But it's very expensive when you come down to that.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
sorry.
one of the guys who was doing the audiobooks, they had a list of people you could approach for the audiobooks, and one of them was Patrick Troughton, the second Doctor's Doctor Who's son, and he was quite reasonably priced to actually do the audiobooks. So I thought, would I approach him? But I know he is very busy, but he was actually on there, which I was quite impressed. The idea of having one of the Doctor's sons reading a book, because my son's a massive Doctor Who fan. We've got a room full of Doctor Who stuff.
I think that don't the film it in Swansea or that kind of area now?
Yeah. Yes. When we watch it, we're always picking out different areas. When it was under, was it Russell, the old writer? It was a lot more places we could recognise in Swansea. I'm not sure if they're phasing it out a little bit from Swansea and Cardiff now, although we still recognise quite a few places there.
But yeah, I think that's quite funny because, especially when it first came back with, I can't even remember the names, but the very first one with the Mancunian Doctor and Rose, Billy Piper and I can't remember what his name is, but
Christopher Eccleston.
Yes, with Christopher Eccleston. They were supposed to be on the streets of London, and they'd have bits and bobs shot of from London perspective, and then all the filming was done in Cardiff or Swansea, and which for me, because I've never really been to London, that's perfect because it's like a city. It all looks the same. But for people like yourself, it's like, I know that street, I know that place, I know that. It's like that's nowhere near London, but I guess it's cheaper to film there than it is in London.
They keep locations very secret. We never know there's any filming going on around here until we actually see it. Afterwards they say, oh yeah, there's filming going on in Swansea, so...
I mean, I actually really enjoyed Torchwood as well. I think that was more... They actually said it was like Cardiff, or they actually,
Yes.
So they could actually be more open with when they were filming stuff and on the show itself, where they didn't have to sort of say, it's London really. But... Yeah,
because the entrance to the Torchwood place was outside the Millennium Centre, so yeah, I remember they were very open about it in Cardiff, yeah.
So, I guess, do you watch a lot of sci-fi stuff? Because I guess that'd actually get a lot of ideas going.
Yeah, lot of Doctor Who. I've watched Doctor Who all over the years, all the different Doctors. Star Trek. I like Voyager though. I like Voyager best, and I think not many people. That's not trendy, is it? To like the Voyager series of Star Trek the best. So.
I mean, my favourite series was Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, I never really watched that. I've saw a few episodes of them, but I never really...
So I really enjoyed that. I think it's because when it first started off, it was like they were peacekeepers and trying to keep order. And then by the 5th or 6th season, there was another alien race was going to come in and wipe out the whole of the Alpha Quadrant or whatever. So it went completely different. It went more to like a war sort of series, and it was just following those same set of characters through the evolution of their sort of character. And it was unlike the Star Trek Next Generation, where it was the same people just going to different planets each week. It just completely changed the whole arc of the series, and for me, it just had more in-depth, in the actual show itself. But as you say, a lot of people, Deep Space Nine, a lot of people say it's boring. And I mean, I liked Voyager. I mean, I even liked Enterprise until the last season. But I'm a Star Trek fan. I've never been a big Star Wars fan, but I really enjoy Star Trek. So, oh god, the book itself, it's available to buy now.
Yes.
And you can find that on... I mean, if you want to just give people some details, like emails and website addresses and things to search for on Amazon.
Yeah, on Amazon it's just The Power Vested in Me, and by AJ King, and then that'll just search that, it'll come up. The website then is www.thepowervestedinme.com, all one word. And if you go into the website, then it says all the contact details to get through to me.
Right, so it's been a pleasure chatting with you. It's been something a little bit different. I mean, we've had one other author on before, and we've even had a couple of movie stars on before, but it's getting a bit more that's why I've branching out and doing a talks-based podcast, because a lot of the stuff that we're talking to and the people we're talking to, it doesn't fit in with the games that we normally sort of like talk about. So I just thought we'd just incorporate, because I normally get like 3 or 4 interviews a week to sort of chat to, and I normally have to turn people down because I only have so much time that I can do all this, and then I've got to have another hour or 2 editing it all together and doing all the bits and bobs. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, and
Lovely to speak to you.
hopefully book 2 and book 3 will completely flow out of you and you won't have any problems with writer's block or anything like that.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Bye now.
Bye.
Time travel, mystical magic, secret powers. Stardust can save the world. Test your intuition, solve riddles, and fulfill adventurous quests. In the new book, The Power Vested in Me, The Gatherers, Book 1, Volume 1, available now on Amazon.com. Join the adventure today, because you never know what tomorrow may or may not bring.
So we're back. Thank you to AJ King for that. I don't know. It's one of these things where I don't read, so you know.
Oh my life! It's sort of like false advertising.
Well, it's not that, because I mean it's one of these things where nowhere in that interview do I sort of say, buy the book, it's amazing, because I haven't read it. But I do sort of say that it sounds quite good. It's 5 people who get special powers and this, that, the other, and it just seemed quite interesting.
Right.
But the Kindle version I think is £2, and to get a paperback I think it's like $7.99. So you can find it on Amazon.
Hello.
Hello. Say hi, Zack.
Hi, Zack.
Yep.
How are you doing, Stephane?
Not too bad.
Good. We're basically finished, so I just thought I'd have you for the end, if that's okay.
That's okay.
Right.
I mean, we could quickly ask him what he's been playing.
Yeah. Do you want to just quickly say what you've been doing or playing for the last sort of week or so?
I've been playing Minecraft mostly.
Nice.
Now, I bought Minecraft for the 360, and I never played it. And then I got my Xbox One, and it was on sale if you had it for the 360. So it was like £2 or something. So I bought it for the Xbox One, and I've not even downloaded it for the Xbox One.
Yeah.
David, you would hate Minecraft. You would hate it. You would absolutely hate it.
Yeah, it's
Why
like
would I
you're
hate
building buildings and everything, and you create your own world, really. So.
Yeah, it's a game that gives you the tools to create your own kind of excitement.
But I loved Technic. I loved Lego.
Oh, in that case, you might like Minecraft.
But I didn't build anything by myself. I built the sets that it said to build.
Right, it doesn't tell you to build anything in Minecraft. It literally just it just goes, here's a world, do whatever.
Yeah.
And then at night, monsters come and kill you.
Same.
I like the idea of monsters.
And the combat is incredibly basic.
So something like,
Just like literally, you do that.
Yeah.
so it's like playing God of War 3.
Whoa!
So do you actually play it quite a lot then, Stephane?
Quite a bit of Minecraft. Not too bad. I usually play with my friend Matt there. So he creates his own world on his own server and all that, and like we build stuff and we mine and stuff like that. And
Have you thought about recording it and then putting it up on our website?
I could do that, I guess. Yeah.
I'm always looking for new content, and then for some unknown reason, 90% of all YouTube videos are Minecraft videos.
Oh yeah.
So I said, might as well put another one on.
Why not?
That'd be good.
So have you been playing anything else?
Let me think here. As far as I know, no. I haven't been playing much lately. I've been creating music and stuff like that. So.
Have you been creating any masterpieces recently?
No, not as far as I know, but I guess it's for other people to know if it's a masterpiece or not.
I tell you what. Now this is going to get cut from the podcast.
Oh no!
Right?
Oh, what are you gonna do now?
But I emailed John Hare like 6 months ago when we did our 60-hour thing.
Yeah.
And he did the live event. I emailed him basically saying, and he must have just decided to answer all his emails in one go, because I got like 6 replies off loads of questions in one go.
Yeah.
And he sort of said to that question, he was like, "Oh, that's a really good idea. Alright, we'll always be out. We'll just split it 50-50.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
I was like, I might actually do that.
There you go.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Please go to our website, it's oneupgaming.co.uk. Please go to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/OUG. If you go on there and join the Patreon and donate £2 a month, and Zack's just playing with his light again.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Then you will receive, free of charge, an album that we're working on. If you want some of I was going to say some cool clothes that I'm wearing, but I'm not. I'm wearing a really darky jumper. But we do have some merchandise with John Hare and some just logos. Go to bluecyborg.com and search One Up Gaming. If you want 10% off at customcontrollersuk.co.uk, just go there, buy whatever you're buying, and then at the end of it, just enter the discount code OneUpGaming, and you can get 5% off at funstock.co.uk. Again, with the discount code OneUp, all one word, all uppercase. We have Amazon links on the site. If you want to order anything from Amazon, click on that. It'll take you straight to Amazon, and we get a small percentage of that sale. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. The easiest way to get all of them is just go to oneupgaming.co.uk, and then we've got tabs across the top of the screen. It'll take you directly to them. We're also on Twitch. If you want to email me, email at contact@oneupgaming.co.uk. And we're on Podbean, iTunes, and all those other places. So please just search for the One Up Gaming podcast or subscribe to whatever you're listening to now. Otherwise, you wouldn't be hearing me talk. But I'm going to be giving away my review copy of Sebastian Loeb Rally Evo for the PS4. So basically, anyone that listens to the podcast, just go onto our iTunes feed and leave a review, a nice one, a nice 5-star one, and put Rally and then your Twitter handle in so I can contact you. And then I will go through them by the end of next week, and then I'll see about if anyone's won it or not. Then I'll either just keep it going, or keep it sort of like for the next week and keep it sort of going. Just got an email from Domino's. Domino's price slice week. Buy one pizza, get one for £1. Say, yeah, that sounds good, but you got to pay like 18 quid for the one pizza.
Yeah, it's worth 18 quid.
Yeah, and I like the, is it double decadence? Where it's got like...
Oh, well, like a pizza on top of a pizza or something.
Where it's a very thin crust, or base, a thin layer of garlic and herb sauce, and then another thin layer of crust, and then the pizza on top. So when you bite it, it's got like garlic and herb. Oh god, it's so good.
It is very good. It is very good.
Yeah. It's been me, David, and Zack.
Hi everyone, thanks for listening. Bye everyone.
And it's been a quick hello from the music guy.
Well, thanks.
What time is it there anyway?
It's 12:15 p.m.
Ah, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
It's 4:15 here. And I got up at 3 in the morning, so... Yeah, so Stephane, you need to watch, if you've got Netflix, Kung Fury.
Kung Fury? Yeah, I saw it like a few times, but I didn't click on it.
Oh, it's so funny.
It's so good.
It's so bad, it's great.
Yeah.
So, thank you all for listening. We'll be back next week. We need to get a proper time slot to get everyone involved.
Yeah, that'll probably better, yeah. I agree. Yawning.
Yeah.
Enjoy that. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Way to end the podcast.
So, thank you, Stephane.
Yep, thank you.
Hey guys, Justin here. I just wanted to say that I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you a lot. Yes, you in particular. In that way. And I wanted to say, I think you're great. I've always said that about you. And I was wondering, if you think we're great, if you could give us a quick rating on iTunes, we'd really appreciate it. It would really, really help us out in that, podcasty sort of way. And if you're feeling particularly festive, perhaps even a little saucy, maybe stop by our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/OUG and see if you can't slip a few bucks our way. After all, every little penny or whatever space money they use in Europe helps out the show. Thanks for listening. OUG Gaming will always be free, but with your support, we can always move forward and always be better.